So back on the 2007 Nissan Xterra and taking a look at the rear differential. So now this one has the drain and fill action. Very convenient and simple, you know, loosen your fill bolt, because if you loosen the bottom one and it doesn't work, you're kind of screwed. So, you know, you loosen this one, drain the fluid, wait a bit, seal it up, and then refill it. But in this case, this vehicle has 209,000 miles, and based upon everything I've seen and even hearing this from the previous owner, it's got a little bit hard miles. The off-road action, the jumping, the mud, which you've seen in the pressure washing part of this series. And yeah, we could do the drain and fill, but I'm really curious of how this thing looks, and that's what we're gonna do. Open it up and see if we're good. So this one is the H14, and let's start here. Oh, that's pretty nice. It's not stuck, so that's stinking sweet. We are on a hill, so if this thing is overfilled, let's catch it, you know? And here we go. Now I'm just gonna put that back in there so I'm not making too much of a mess of myself. This is a 10. Fortunately, these things came out nice and easy, so that's good. This we'll find out now if it has any water. Oh boy. It is clumpy, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing right here. Ooh. Wow, that is definitely, it's chunky, folks. It's yeah, it's chunky. It's a good thing that we're doing this and the fact that we're getting this all cleaned out, but hopefully this thing is not damaged. So now what I need to do is up here, this is a 12. We'll break this loose because that's holding the emergency brake. Yeah, and this is all part of the cover. This right over here just pops right up, and that will allow me to slide the cover up without bringing the brake line. Is this the brake line? Yeah, it looks like a brake line. So we're gonna do that. See if this will do it. I think this is a 14. Let's see, can we get any of these? Ooh, nope. Time for the last one. We're just gonna loosen it. You leave it a couple of threads so when we pop this thing off, it don't go flying. And now the fun of peeling this thing out. Now typically what I do is I take this flat blade just like so, and just to kind of chisel it in there. Well, the good news, we're inside. The bad news, I don't know how well the camera picks it up, but that's some chipping action right there. That's definitely not good. It's the only one that I can obviously see, which if there's one, I'm sure there's more. And this is another reason why I recommend taking off the cover. If you look at this right over here, I mean, just all this glitter, metal, sludge. Great, 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 great. I'm really hoping that it's fine, but might have to consider a rebuild, a replacement, or maybe it's just fine and I don't have to worry about it like ever. I mean, looking at the teeth over here, everything looks really good. And even kind of looking in here, I mean, everything that I can see, it doesn't look terrible. It's just that one right there. I can't recall if I heard a noise or not because of the loud exhaust on the drive back. So yeah, well, let's clean this up, keep going, and hope for the best. All right, let's scoop out as much of this sludge as we can. It's actually pretty easy because we're on a hill. Typically when you're on a flat surface, you kind of have to go in here and dig this stuff out. I really want to go in back there and just get as much of this junk out as we can, you know? We just got to make it better and make sure this thing doesn't blow up. Look at that, we're rebuilding it. Looks a lot better, brand new. Don't worry about the missing piece of metal. That's just weight reduction for more speed and horsepower. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with. And that's what I'm gonna tell myself every time I drive this vehicle. Let's take the scraper and get this stuff off. tell you what, the more I clean this, the less faith I have in this differential. I don't think I heard any noises when I drove it. I mean, we're gonna find out. That would totally suck if I have to hunt one down. Man, this thing is bad. I gotta say, this is probably the worst one I've seen. And of course the spammers, they want to get my social and my money and offer me Medicare Part A, Part B. Yeah. Go away! So now that we got everything nice and pretty, let's get some RTV rolling. The flavor of the day, the right stuff. I've used this before and I've never had an issue. So we're gonna put a nice coat on here and then we'll put it on the pan. And that should keep her from leaking. And who knows, you know, maybe it just rebuilds the bearings and the teeth. And definitely not wishful thinking. Wishful thinking for sure. You know, a guy could be hopeful, right? I slide in. Maybe easier slide in this way, maybe. Get some bolts in. Went ahead and cleaned off the threads just to make sure that, you know, it doesn't get stripped. I'm just going to put this in for now, just like so. And the reason why is I want this right stuff to cure before I put any fluid. Don't want to take a chance that it leaks. But let's get our brake line. Maybe? No. If you're in a crusty environment with a lot of salt, you might not want to be doing this. Because you break this brake line. That'll definitely not be good. 3 hours later, it is dry. Don't mind the professional paint job because, you know, it's professional. So we're gonna go ahead and put some Valvoline. Got the 75W90 flavor. That's what it calls for. Full synthetic, towing on and off road, temperature controls, and I think it has the LSD additive, which I don't know if this has it or not, if I'm being honest. But you know, at least it's there. Let's get some of it in. I'm not going to be able to pour all of it in, primarily because I'm on a hill, but I don't want to move this thing dry. Still waiting on other parts before I can get this thing running. So we got the squirt bag. Oh, and I've already failed. I'm not mistaken, I believe it takes 2 quarts, but we'll start with this. And this will be enough just so I can feel more comfortable backing it into the garage when we get this thing moving. Alright, so we roughly got 1 in for now. When we come back, probably in a couple of days, we'll top this off. So it's actually a couple of days later, and what I'm actually going to do is I've driven the thing. I did top it off and fill it, but considering how much junk was in there, I kind of want to do a makeshift flush, in the sense that I've driven it like about 30-40 miles, and I just want to get all that stuff out, see what else is on the magnet, and give me an idea of this, how bad this thing might or might not be. It's probably overkill, but better safe than sorry. I really don't want to replace the rear end, so just as a precaution, I'm going to drop the fluid after only having 30 miles on it and see how it looks and put fresh fluid in there. It's only 30 miles, but it's already a little dirty. There's just a lot of contamination in there. But it's fine, it's preventative maintenance. Now let's zoom in on the magnet. Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff on the magnet again. Oof. And that's only 30 miles. Yeah, this rear end was really abused and might be something I have to consider in the future. But for now, let's let this thing drain and hope for the best. And what I think I'm gonna do is just put some 75-140, something thicker flavor. Maybe more protection. Might help this thing, might save this thing, I don't know. I live in the southern climate, so heat is a thing, and you know, thicker oil is good for the heat. Alright, fill plug, dripping out, thicker oil, and maybe that will save this thing. Probably not, but you know, a guy can be hopeful, can he? Or just go to the junkyard and spend $800 unnecessarily. Something's gonna work. So that's gonna wrap this thing up. I'll do another drain and fill, monitor it, see, listen for noises. If it gets worse, then I know which direction to go. If it gets better, then I'll just keep ignoring it. Thanks for watching.